Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And welcome if you are new. I am so happy to be here, and I am so happy that you are here today. Today, we have a very fun and exciting video because we're going to be talking about all of the books that I loved and my favorite books of 2024. Now, as some of you guys know, it was a rough reading year for me. I read the most books that I've ever read in my entire life, but I didn't read the best books. They were more books that were 3 to 2 stars. I didn't actually even hit my first 5-star of the year until August. So it was a rough reading year, but it was also a reading year that taught me a lot of things about what I want to be as a reader while being in this content space. But today I get to sit here and brag to you guys about all of the wonderful books that I was able to read. Now, these are all romance books because I'm not including rereads in this video, because if I was to include rereads, you would just hear me talk about ACOTAR, ACOMAF. You'd also hear me talk about my favorites, The Love Hypothesis and Take a Hint, Dani Brown, but we are not here to discuss those books because I have talked about them so much on my channel and through all of my other platforms. Today, we're going to be sitting here and talking about the outstanding romance books that I read this year. Now, 2 things really quickly. The first thing I want to say is that the first couple books are going to be your regular contemporary romances that are so fluffy, so cute, so lovely. And then I actually got into dark romance this year. So the last 4 books are going to be more darker romances. So please read your trigger warnings for those, but I will talk more about that when we get to those books. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And without further ado, let's hop into the best books that I read in 2024. I have to start this video with the first book that I gave 5 stars to in 2024, and that was Whiskey Business. This has to be one of my all-time favorite romances. It felt just like such a warm hug when you were reading it. This book is about April, who is an actress who's having a little bit of trouble in her career and ends up moving to the Isle of Skye to run her grandfather's whiskey distillery after he passes. Only problem is the whiskey distillery is managed by Mal, who is our love interest. This book is simply divine. Mal is so soft and so sweet, and his anxiety is in my soul. I feel what he is going through and I get it. I really do. This is more of a friends / enemies to lovers, because they're not a big fan of each other in the beginning of the book, but they also have some history as being friends before when she lived on the Isle of Skye. I will also say, while April is an actress, that did not impede the book at all, because I do not like celebrity romances and I love this book. It is only occasionally mentioned, so it's not a gigantic into the stardom situation. It was a little taste, but it didn't overwhelm for me. This book is absolutely beautiful. I love the Isle of Skye. I love everything about it, and I could not think of a better book to be my first 5 stars in 2024. The next book that I also read in August that was my second 5-star of the year was The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce. Now, this is the Foxglove exclusive edition, so I'll show you the regular dust jacket, but I just had to give you guys a minute. It's a little bit reflective with my ring light, but I just love this cover. The sunflowers here, everything about it is just so gorgeous. I'm hoping that you guys can see it okay. The regular cover is going to look like this. It is actually stunning, and it's also signed by Jessica Joyce, so a dream come true here. I have 2 words for you when describing this book. It is Eli Mora. The love interest in this book has to be one of my all-time favorite book boyfriends, maybe even my favorite contemporary book boyfriend, if we're being really, really serious, because oh my god, he is amazing. He is the love of my life, and his gestures to her are some of the best that I've ever read in romance, and I won't tell you what they are, because when you realize it, when you see it, you're going to be obsessed and you are going to be speechless, because it is fantastic. This is a second chance romance between our main characters, Eli and Georgia. They were childhood friends, and then they ended up dating and unfortunately breaking up. However, now their best friend is getting married. They were a little trio. Their best friend is getting married, and they have to come together to help plan his wedding, because his wedding is an absolute disaster. So these 2 are navigating being together again in close proximity after breaking up, while also simultaneously trying to save their best friend's wedding. And it is a masterpiece. Jessica Joyce's writing is absolutely gorgeous. It is so reminiscent of Emily Henry. It is so beautiful, and I love it so, so much. If there's one thing that I learned from 2024 is that Jessica Joyce is one of my new favorite authors, and I'm obsessed with this story in every sense of the word. The next book that I'm going to talk to you guys about, I actually don't have a physical copy of. I'm waiting for a few more books on my wish list to then go out on a big book buying shopping spree. So I'm going to talk to you guys about Mr. Nice Spy. So I originally read this book in 2024, and I gave it 4.5 stars because there are just a few things about it that I was like, can I really give this 5 stars if the big bad is called the kill pill? However, I ended up reading it again in January, so a little spoiler for my January wrap up, but I reread it on audio, and oh my god, I just love the story. It just feels like one of those comfort stories almost. It's silly and goofy, but honestly just such a fun time. It is about our main characters, Andy and Chan. Andy is a pyrotechnic engineer who has always been told that her father was this celebrity, until one day she does a DNA test and realizes that her biological father is actually a major villain. We then have Chan, who is an FBI agent who has been pulled off of field work. However, he gets put back in the field accidentally when Andy and him get kidnapped by the big bad and have to survive in the Paris catacombs. I absolutely loved this story. It was so fast paced. It was so much fun. The ASL representation was absolutely beautiful. I loved Chan as a book boyfriend. He was so sweet with Andy and like really helped her in this like very stressful time. Honestly, if you're looking for a fast, quick like spy read, this is 100% the book that you should read. We are now going to talk about some dark romance books. The next 4 books are darker, so please do check your trigger warnings if you want to check any of these out. I fully recommend them because they are absolutely amazing, but they do have some darker subject matter, so just be aware of that and take care of yourself and your mental health. The first book that I actually want to talk to you guys is Lights Out. Now, this book is absolutely fantastic. You are going to be questioning some of your morals and you're going to be cackling so hard, even though you're like, what is going on? This book is about our 2 main characters. One is an ER nurse who loves watching TikTok videos of men wearing masks and doing, you know, some sensual things on the internet. And our other character is one of the men who is doing some said sexual things. Josh is honestly the biggest golden retriever love interest there is. He is so funny. He will make you cackle. You have to listen to this book on audio because it brings the story so much more to life. This book will have you cackling at the most unhinged times, and also you will be like so invested in the story. It is unbelievable. The next book that I'm going to talk to you guys about is also one that I've just hauled, and that is the Mind F series by St. Abby. Now, I got this used on eBay, and she has been loved by somebody, but I'm going to love her just as much. This book is actually 5 books in one, and I think it's the darkest book that I've ever read because some of the content that happens in here and is described in here will make your stomach so sick, and you will be like, oh my gosh, what is even happening? The female rage in this book is amazing, and Lana Myers as a character is superb. She is so clever. The planning and the way everything is like intricately done and she thinks of everything is so good. This book is about our main character, Lana Meyer, who goes through a very traumatic thing and is getting her revenge on the people who did it and the town that it happened in. She's also simultaneously dating the FBI agent who is trying to solve the killings that she's doing. So it's unhinged and it is so amazing. I cannot believe that I'm holding it in my hands. Again, it's 5 books. They're really short. They're like 200 pages, 150 pages each. They're so fast. They're really connected. So you just kind of go right into the next one. And it is so addicting. The final book that I have to talk to you guys today about is Hexed by Emily McIntyre. This should be no surprise to you guys if you watch my channel because I have been nothing but yapping about this book. This book is between Enzo and Vanessa. This is also a Little Mermaid retelling. It is about Vanessa, who is part of her family, who's like semi-mob, but like not really, and she does the dirty work for her uncle, getting him some answers if he needs them. We then have Enzo, who is in the mafia, and he is the heir to the New York mafia, and he gets engaged to Vanessa's cousin only to realize that he actually wants to date Vanessa and wants Vanessa. And the tension in this book is simply divine. The yearning, the tension, everything that happens in this book is so good. The little details that Emily McIntyre puts in from The Little Mermaid that just elevate this like twisted tale story is so amazing. Of course, Ariel is combing her hair with a fork without realizing why she's doing it because it's a dinglehopper. It was so executely and woven in so normally that you were like, yeah, that's happening. Like, okay, so normal. I will say she's chunky, so get prepared. This is the final book in the Interconnected Download series, and you don't need to read them in order. This one was the first one that I actually read, and this one is also my favorite. And with that, we are finished talking about my favorite and the best books that I read in the year of 2024. I cannot wait to see what 2025 has in store because honestly, 2024 was a very interesting reading year. As I mentioned, most books I've ever read, but not the best books I've ever read. But I really, towards the latter half of the year, did find some new favorites, and I cannot wait to see what 2025 has in store. Spoiler alert, it has started amazingly, and I have already had my first 5-star of the year. That was not a reread, but you'll have to stay tuned for my January wrap up for that one. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys again shortly. Thank you so much for watching. Again, do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Without further ado, bye everybody.